evening, guys, and welcome to episode 4 of the League One Review Show. I'm joined once again by Jake, PunkChef41. Link to his channel is in the description down below. Please go and check him out. Subscribe if you haven't already. It's a tough weekend for both of us, but we're going to go through what happened in both of our games and go around the grounds as we normally do. And then we'll finish up with a update on the table, one that we're not looking forward to as Rovers fans for sure. We've already got a Wednesday eye in. Hey. Get your comments coming in, and we'll try and go through those while we're looking around the grounds in League One as well. So welcome once again, Jake, to the channel. Thank you for joining me. I think this is a regular occurrence.
It's a weird one, this one, because it's one of the days where you don't want to be a football content creator when your team lose. You want to be the normal fan that can go, right, I'll just bin it off. I can go be a normal football fan. It's fine. But then you're like, oh, no, I've got to do a video on this. Damn.
Yeah, I've had that feeling for some time. I can't actually remember the last time we won off the top of my head. It's the worst start of a season for Donny Rovers since 1947, I believe.
Jeez.
But this form has continued from last season, even though we've got a brand new team.
This is our best form we started a league in for like 30-odd years.
Wow. Poles apart at the minute between the two teams.
To be fair, your form's not really changed since more or less, really, has it?
No, we've not won many since either.
A downward spiral when he was there, but I think if he had stayed, he probably would have been in an okay position now. I
think so, yeah. Yeah, he had the team playing well. And it shows he's gone to Wednesday and is picking results up. Not the result that he wanted on Saturday. I think with you being the guest, we will start at Morecambe. So, 1-0 defeat.
It was one of those games where we absolutely dominated it. First half, really looked good, hit the crossbar. What a game where it just doesn't go right. And a lot of fans went into meltdown at the end of this result, going, we should be beating Morecambe. And like, I feel like that's really disrespectful because they deserve to be here. They got up from League Two. They've done the hard work. They're there for a reason, and we're there for a reason from the Championship originally. And to be fair, they were defensively solid. And you look at the stat, 13 shots and 2 on target is just not good enough. But we made the chances. That's what counts. And the more chances you make, 9 times out of 10, you're going to score from it. Just one of those off days. And we're going to have these, I think, because we started so well to season. Fans have gone, well, this is a blip. But I'd rather get the blip out now. For me, this is where the season starts because I want to know what we're like after a defeat in this league. And I think
let's see how Sheffield Wednesday respond.
Yeah, this is important now for us, I feel, because if we can respond well from this, it's great. But we've got the situation that we got the cup game midweek, but then we don't have a game next week because of the whole international break. We've had our postponed because Sunderland got player called up and we got a player called up. And to be fair, we probably want it suspended because it's Bailey Peacock-Farrell who've been called up.
Very good player.
Yeah, so it was a weird one. And to be fair play to Morecambe. We got their record attendance for which was about 5,000, 1,700 Wednesday fans made the 2-hour trip down there. And yeah, it was just one of those games, and they happen. But I like we got it out early so we can figure out what to do next. And you're not going to win every game. So
no, it's a tough league. It's a very tough league, to be fair. There's a lot of teams in there that will be fighting for the top 6 come the end of the season. Yeah. But this one for me is the epitome of a smash and grab. Morecambe, as you said, defended extremely well, solid as a unit. And then it was a very scrappy goal to concede with Adeniran. Is that right?
It was Adeniran own goal.
It was a bit scrappy in the box, and it's just ended up going in, hasn't it?
And to be fair, I think it's the one mistake we've seen from Peacock-Farrell. He went to punch it, misses it. If he punches it, it probably don't go in. But this is why we like football. You don't like it that you love your team to go on like winning streaks and win all the time, but it will get boring after a while. And I've seen so many people like saying, "Oh, we should be doing better than this. It's only Morecambe." And like I said, that's really disrespectful. They deserve to be here, and we have to remember we're League One club now. these kind of games are going to be their big game for them. And they will see it like cup final, but we've got to understand that's what they're going to see it as.
You said it there, mate. Spot on. I think you've hit the nail on the head that Sheff Wednesday are one of them big scalps that a little bit like Sunderland when they first came down. And they still are Sunderland. They're still a big scalp for a lot of teams in League One. But I think you see it more on that first initial season when the big team like yourselves drop down.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to get them points off of you, which is going to make it tougher for Wednesday as the season goes on, because, as you say, every game is going to be a cup final. You're going to have to put 100% effort in every single game to get those points, and the effort was there.
I like that personally because it'll show us that we're up for the fight, and I think that'll show what we're like as a team. And fair play to Morecambe. They did a job. They did their job. They got 3 points, and if you're a Morecambe fan, that you should be well happy with that and be like, we beat a big team, and they're doing really well, to be fair, considering they've just come up.
Yeah, cracking start for Morecambe, but stats-wise on this one, smash and grab.
It's that FIFA analogy where you've done well all game and until he gets a 91st minute one shot, on target.
Yeah, definitely. To be fair, that one shot on target is not the one that went in, though, was it?
Oh, it's
not. Wow. So that's covered your game off very well. We will now go on to the Yorkshire derby, Rotherham versus Doncaster Rovers, and I was there. It was disappointing. We started with no recognised striker. We had like a false 9 formation, and I just don't know what's going on at the club at the minute. There's a big division with the fans. They're not happy with the budget that we've got. They're wanting a little bit more money, a little bit more support. Me personally, I'm on the side of the fence where I think Richie Wellens has spent his budget very well, but we've been very unfortunate with the injuries that we've had, COVID impacting the pre-season, and a number of other issues that have just kind of not got us going as much as what we'd like to. Do I think the 3 players coming back will have an impact? Yes, I do. Do I think we need reinforcements? Yes, I do. So I can kind of see both sides of the coin on this one. Say again, sorry.
Do you think you'll get them before Tuesday?
There's rumours that there's some lined up, but we need to see people leaving before those players come in.
What are your wages like on some of those players? Is it big or quite small, or is it what those ones, if they're settled, they might not want to leave?
I believe they're quite big earners. The ones which are spoken about at the minute are Ed Williams and Omar Bogle. So I think they're 2 of our higher earning players. I don't think they're on mega money. I don't think any player at Donny Rovers is on mega money, but I think that wage could easily bring one or 2 loanees in. So they are saying we literally need to get a player out to bring somebody in.
So you might have the situation where a player might not want to leave because he's on good money here and he'll just see a contract out even if he's not playing.
Yeah, we're seeing that with Bogle at the minute. I've seen a few things floating around on social media over the last couple of days that he's not received any offers, but then on one side we're getting told that he has received offers. It's difficult to kind of choose who to believe, but yeah, lots going on off the field at Donny Rovers, and I think that's impacting our on-field shenanigans as well, because Rotherham were the better team. There's no 2 ways about it. The first half, they absolutely battered us. We didn't have a look in, and I think you could see that there wasn't that outlet up top.
Yeah.
Michael Smith, decent first goal. The ball's come through. He's kind of held off the defender and just slotted it under Dahlberg. And then the second goal, I think if we'd have gone in 1-0, you never know. Something may have happened in the second half. But honestly, mate, we could still be playing now, and I think we'd still be on 0 goals.
Yeah.
It's disappointing to say. And I just hope we see something change over the international break, because we're same as you. One of our game against Cambridge, I think it is, that one's postponed because of the international call-ups of Dahlberg, Shakur and Galbraith. So we've got 3 players in international duty.
And yours is a keeper as well, and you don't have much cover in that position, do you?
No, exactly. So I, for one, am happy that the international break's coming. It might just give us a chance to gel a little bit more as a squad and get some of these injured players.
What were you like
back.
when you went down to 10 men, or was it just very similar with no cutting edge? Or
I thought we looked better when they went down to 10 men. I do think it was a red card. It was rash. It was already on a yellow. I think if it wasn't given as a straight red, it would have definitely been a second yellow, and off the field he goes. but from where I was sat, it looked like it was late. It was over the top. I think a warranted red card. I'm not sure if you've seen it or not.
Yeah, I've seen it. It looked like he didn't get the ball at all. To fair, he missed it.
Yeah, I think the Rotherham fans weren't happy that Noyle was on the floor for a little bit and then jumped up after the red card was shown. But I think sometimes at this level, you do need to over-egg what's happened to actually get the decision sometimes.
Yeah.
Having said that, the referee had quite a good game yesterday. I will put that out there. It was all right. He managed a Yorkshire derby very well.
You had a lot of ball. It's just like you haven't got that final third finish yet.
It was sideways, mate. Sideways and backwards. That's all we had. 9 shots, 1 on target. Pretty much tells the story. Possession-wise, I think the footballing leading up to the final third was okay, but there's just no runs going in behind from wingers. There's no movement from a striker who would kind of be sniffing out those chances. And I think that lack of movement shows that we're not creating those chances. And that's
not like you're overcomplicating it.
No.
You keep it simple. You just haven't got that player there to latch onto.
Yeah, exactly. But I think overall, fair result. Didn't deserve to get anything from the game at all. And the disappointing thing, like you say, was when they went down to 10 men, we just didn't move it quick enough. We didn't get crosses in the box. Richie Wellens has said it, get crosses in the box. And then when that second ball's coming in, the defence is starting to come back out. There's a little bit of disjointed. They're a little bit disjointed as they're coming out. And that's where you can start picking those holes. And it just didn't happen for us on the day. At least it wasn't a long journey home.
Yeah, true.
So that has not put us in a very good position in the table, unfortunately. But we will get to that a little bit later on. So we've flown through that. Quite happy with that. We've got Jonathan Harries in. Welcome to the show. So evening, guys. Hard-fought win versus Accrington. So I think it makes sense to go to MK Dons against Accrington, a 2-0 win. Get that up there. And
well.
Yeah, Issa, very good player. I thought lovely work for the first goal. A very individual effort, and as Jonathan said, 2 moments of quality, the difference. Weird post-match interview by Coleman. I didn't see that. I'm not sure if you did.
No, I didn't see it either.
Well, Jonathan, in the comments, let us know why it was a strange post-match. That's interested me. It's piqued my interest there. But yeah, I've also on my notes I've got that there was a comfortable win. I don't think Accrington really offered too much.
It's that weird one. NK Dons are a weird one in this league because they got the ability to get out of it from what I've seen year in, year out. And they just seem to be missing that either one player or that one little thing. They're always nearly there. Man, yeah. And I think if they did go up, they'd be really good in the championship and do some damage. But I felt a little bit sorry for Accrington Stanley. But as you see, they actually did put up some shots and 2 on target. So it wasn't that bad. It's just like it's one of those days where 5 on target, you're going to get one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
And they got 2. So.
Yeah, that's put MK Dons in, like I say, quite a good position. And they're one of those teams that you'd expect to be up there come the end of the season. We have got Lewis, Sunderland, and Ross Stewart, the Loch Ness Drogba, strikes again.
We were after him at one point as well, and he looks the quality.
So I think that's a good place to shoot over to next. Sunderland 3, Wycombe 1, which was one of the surprise results for me personally. Obviously, the surprise was the Morecambe Sheffield Wednesday game, but I thought this would have been, I thought it'd have been tighter. 2 very good teams in the league, but Sunderland showing their prowess with a relatively comfortable win.
They're a very good team, Sunderland, how they've set up already. And they've already got that clinical finisher in Stewart, and they've got players who can make things work. They're that team at the minute that when you worry when you come up against them, you don't know what's going to be like because they're already humming, and they haven't brought much into the squad in touch as transfer, which I think for them probably a good thing because I don't think they need much. Wycombe on this one, they just looked a little bit toothless. They just looked like they got overdone. I have a funny feeling that this game is going to be referred back to the EFL about that lash out by the Wycombe player. It looked a definite red card. He definitely punched him, and it was no need for it. But to be fair, the Sunderland player did have his arm around his neck, but your immediate response, especially if you're a professional footballer, is not to punch him.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you?
You hope so. But then again, I can't talk. I'm a Sheffield Wednesday fan, and my player years ago pushed over a referee. So
that was class, though. That was beautiful.
Especially since it was against Arsenal, and I hate Arsenal with a passion. So to see him bottom of the league at the minute is lovely.
Yeah, they're having a tough time at it up in the Premier League, but not having a tough time of it is Sunderland down in League One. That result puts them top of the tree. So very good result for Sunderland. A cracking attendance as well. Was it 29,500? Unreal support. So any team going to the Stadium Light is going to find it tough against a wall of sound that the Sunderland supporters give.
I'm going to be interested when we do the Sunderland game, because it was going to be this coming weekend, but I'll be interested to see what it's like when we bring our lot down, because we're noisy sods. Yeah,
that'll be a full house, definitely. Yeah. So onto the Friday night. This was on Sky. It was an entertaining game. Burton won, Cheltenham won, and Cheltenham, a little bit like Morecambe, just come up. But I think the way that they're playing, the way that they're performing, the way that the team is together,
they're settled already.
Yeah, they deserve to be, and they are doing very, very well at this level. A nice goal to set Cheltenham off.
Especially coming against a Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank team that are looking really good already. And to take the league and then make Burton go, come at us then, you've got to get this back. It shows you that the teams that are coming up from League Two, it's been this case for a while, but they are showing that if you merge both leagues together, it would be very competitive in itself, because there's a lot of teams that are very good in League Two that just don't seem to get out of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a style of play this season. It's very interesting watching it as somebody who's been in Championship. It turning into a mini Championship with some of the way it's being played now. It's not that long ball, kick them a little bit. You'll probably get that a little bit in winter when the pitches are a bit naff, but they're not showing that anymore.
Exactly. I think I've look at the comments. I think I've just called Cheltenham Rovers. Sorry about that. Any Cheltenham Town fans watching? I'll have to watch that back when it comes back on. Cheltenham Town.
Well, we know who you're making in your FIFA creator team, Cheltenham Rovers.
I think it's because I was thinking that there's a few ex-Rovers players there in Matty Blair, Andy Williams, and Alfie May, who I would have.
I had a look at that before I came on. There are so many ex-Rovers players dotted around League One that I'm thinking, if they're in your team, they'd be great.
We'd be all right, wouldn't we? I think that train of thought was going in that direction. So, Cheltenham Town do have half of the Rovers team. Yeah. So, Cheltenham Rovers. And Jonathan has also popped back in with an update on the post-match press conference. So, I felt we were play acting and dropped to Shakespeare reference. Troy Parrott away next week. Big loss, international duty. So, MK Dons are playing next week. Parrott is not part of the team, so that could cause difficulties for MK Dons. But felt the play acting and dropped to Shakespeare reference. So I'm gonna have to
find that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find that, catch that, and see what is said. But not a bad start for both of these teams on the screen, Burton and Cheltenham, and shared the spoils on Friday night.
It was also nice to see Guy giving some love to League One football on a Friday night. It's really weird when they do.
So it was a surprising game to pick, I'd say. Yeah. Especially like last week, there was Sheffield Wednesday against Rotherham. This week, it was Donny against Rotherham. The week before that, it was rivals. Yeah, there's been bigger games, I'd have thought, but entertaining game nonetheless.
I say fair enough. Let other teams get the spoil, because you can't keep picking these big games and stuff, because you've got to let the money be flown around the entire league.
Yeah, we need TV coverage though. You're all right. You're a big team. We're not. Moving on to Charlton versus Crewe. Charlton off the mark. I believe they didn't have a. Did they have a point before this?
I think
they're not.
They got a draw against us.
Yeah, they've not started too well. They were down near the bottom of the table. I think this was their first win of the season. Powerful header for the first from Giassimi. Fantastic header, absolute bullet. And then for the second, counter-attacking football at its best.
Not Dale in this league. If he gets up and running, it could be scary.
Yeah. But overall, looking at the stats, a fairly even game. Crewe struggling. They're down there with Doncaster at the minute. Struggling in League One. But you look at that, they've had 13 shots, 5 on target. Another day, could have come away with a point from that. Yeah. Possession-wise, passes, it's a very, very even game.
An even game, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Crewe fans, don't be too disheartened by it. The Valley is a very tough place to go. I think the results will come in time. Just
stick with the process and you'll get that.
Yeah. Unlike the Rovers, where we're lacking kind of creating chances at the minute, you guys 13 shots, 5 on target. Just need to put 1 or 2 of them away, and you'll be okay, I think.
Yeah.
Moving on to Shrewsbury, Gillingham, fair few red cards in this one.
It had the goal of the day.
Yeah.
It was a stunner.
Definitely. So Shrewsbury were on course for their worst ever start in the Football League, and that was denied, as you say, by probably the goal of the season this early on. It was superb.
It was set up well. Just to I always love when you see an overhead kick, but especially when it's set up in such a way it was, to just have the mind to do it. When I was a lad playing football, I never tried an overhead kick. I knew I'd break my back. So, when I see it, I always go, you're celebrating, but after that celebration, you've got to be like, that hurt. I landed a bit hard. But it's a fantastic goal.
Yeah, if you've not seen it yet.
Well, Sam Crossgrove, they got him on loan from Birmingham for the season.
Was it? I thought it was Bloxham who scored the overhead.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. It was Shrewsbury's first goal, wasn't it? That was the overhead. Fantastic. If you've not seen it yet, head over onto YouTube and search Shrewsbury Gillingham highlights, and you'll find it well worth a watch. Yeah. Towards the end of the game, something kicked off. Not sure entirely what. But yeah, 2 red cards for the Shrewsbury team, 1 for the Gillingham team. Crazy scenes at the end of that game. But one that I'm surprised not to see on there is Evans, because it was close to the touchline, and in fairness to him, he took a step back from it. He didn't want anything to do with it. He
didn't do his usual putting his oar in, as we say in Yorkshire.
Yeah, exactly. But generally, the game, Shrewsbury just edged it with shots on target.
A lot of tight games this weekend as well, by looking at it.
Say again, sorry?
A lot of tight games this weekend.
Yeah, and I think we've seen that as kind of a pattern in League One, because it's such a tight league, and there's so many teams that are fighting for kind of survival and at the top of the table. Yeah. We're seeing so many tight games, and this was a bit of a shock result for me as well. Bolton started to do well, started to turn a corner. They got a good result last weekend, but come up against Cambridge United and fell short. Bolton dominated the game, shots wise, but
came close at the end as well to nearly grab a point.
They hit the crossbar.
Yeah.
Towards the end, yeah. But shots on target, they only had the 1. Cambridge, much more efficient with their shots, 3 on target, 1 goal. It was a well-worked goal as well.
Yeah, it was. And Cambridge are one of the teams where I don't fear or be in that kind of situation. Yes, they lost Paul Mullin, but when they start playing, they can get that lead and then defend really well. They've got a good defence behind them. So I think in terms of going forward, yes, it's a big loss for them, but I think if they do what they've done here, they'll be able to weather that storm in League One.
Definitely. One to watch out for, Cambridge. Not so much dark horses, but one where...
The only thing I've got with Cambridge, their badge always reminds me is like it always looks like it's like an international Spanish team, because it doesn't look like a normal
badge. Definitely. Moving on to Oxford versus Lincoln, another not so much shock result, but I thought it would have been a bit tighter. Lincoln started fairly well this season, but James Henry turned on the style. Superb hat trick, and his second goal was his 50th Oxford United goal, and then got the match ball from the spot. Great hits for his first and second goal outside the box, pretty much identical, but one went into the top corner, one down into the bottom corner, and then another penalty for Lincoln. Just gives them a consolation and pretty much whimpered to defeat yesterday.
They're getting a lot of penalties at the minute, Lincoln.
Yeah.
They are set up quite attacking, and when they go forward, they've got speed, so I understand it. But James Henry, to get your 50th goal for Oxford, that's superb. And he's like, what can you say? 3 goals, hat trick. You go home with the match ball, you've done your job.
Yeah, 50 goals for his second goal was the 50th goal. Topped the performance off with a hat trick and the match ball, and a bit of a story to tell the kids. So well done on that, and pretty much won the game single-handedly for Oxford. On to Plymouth versus Fleetwood. Fleetwood started to turn the corner. Nappers, Codswoggs wasn't very happy a couple of weeks ago. No. I don't think he's still too happy with the regime and what have you. But the results are starting to come. And a point at Plymouth is not to be sniffed at.
If I was him, I'd take that. They're a good team, and especially when you look at how Jackett and Hardy has already started. I think it's 9 goals already between them in league and cup competition. So that is superb so far. And Fleetwood, it's a weird one with the whole Fleetwood situation at the minute, because we speak to Nappers a lot in our WhatsApp groups, and and he's not happy with Grayson. I don't think anyone would be happy with Grayson. Grayson's got a style of football, and unless he got the player for it, worse. And I don't think he got the player for it here. So
it's going to be a long, hard season, but that's a long, hard trip down. And
that's a good result. That is a very good result to say you haven't started off well, and also get better soon, Napper, because we know he's got COVID at the minute.
Yeah, he's on the mend, isn't he?
Yeah. He looks it anyway on his Twitter.
Yeah. Get well soon, Ben, if you're watching. On to Ipswich. This is another surprise result. So Ipswich tipped to be top of the table, tipped for automatics or at minimum playoffs, and it is just not. It's just not started.
The team's not gelled yet.
Yet to win a game.
I think they're going to be the team that you'll see kick on around Christmas time and do a late push.
Yeah, they need to turn that corner very quickly, don't they?
Isn't this like their second 2-2 draw now?
Yes, and it's the second one where they've let a lead slip as well. So Joe Pigott scoring against his old employees, and
fair play for the celebration as well.
Yeah, fair play. He kind of ran off and just didn't. It was a very understated celebration.
He did the heart celebration to the Wimbledon fans, and I thought that quite class.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of team. I understand when a player leaves and you want to celebrate, but I think sometimes it's nice just to go, you know what, mute it.
Yeah, I agree. So credit there. And then the second goal comes 2 minutes later. Wes Burns, and it was a crazy 6 minutes, because then Wimbledon straight back in it, and Ipswich start to get a little bit shaky as they've done in recent weeks, and then don't hold out. 95th minute equaliser, absolute heartbreak.
Must be going mental at this.
Spitting feathers. But you look at the stats, and it's
even game.
Yeah, very even game. No disrespect to Wimbledon, but Ipswich, I think, would be expecting to not so much run away with that game, but with the recruitment that they've had over the summer, they'd be wanting, especially 2-0 up, to push on and see that through and get the 3 points, but just didn't quite happen for them. Let a lead slip once again.
Do you think with me, the same thing I got, where Ipswich are that team that everyone's seen all the players come in, but they're not going to gel yet until mid-season, and then it's going to go? I think that Ipswich is a little bit of too many players too fast, but they needed bodies.
I agree. But that leads us quite nicely on to the next one, which is Wigan, who did a similar recruitment drive over the summer. They're looking very, very good. Great performance.
Portsmouth unbeaten spell.
Yeah, they had an 100% record until they met Doncaster, but then had an unbeaten run at the start of the League One campaign. And then Wigan, as you say, a lot of players brought in at Ipswich that haven't gelled. I think Wigan are starting to gel very quickly. And
it's a tiny goal.
One thing to mention, rest in peace, Kevin.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen that.
I have.
I thought that was fantastic. A miscommunication on social media. I believe there's a well-respected Wigan fan that is unwell at the moment, called Kevin. And somebody said that Kevin had passed away. And then everybody was saying, rest in peace, Kevin, but it happened to be somebody's duck.
Yeah.
So the duck got was it a minute applause?
It was something like a minute, yeah.
So yeah, rest in peace, Kevin. Fly high.
The EFL highlight show did a 15-second tribute to it.
It's fantastic. I think what I will say is somebody's pet, regardless of if it's a duck, dog, cat, or whatever, does become. Oh, it was called Keith, not Kevin. I'm having a nightmare today.
Oh, Keith, fair enough.
Keith the duck. But yeah, anybody's pet becomes part of the family. So yeah, rest in peace, Keith. But,
hey, you got a good one to tell down the pub. If that is your pet.
Definitely.
What do you do when your pet died? Well, Wigan gave my duck a minute's applause.
It's fantastic, and I think that it just brings fans to the club. I think it's great. But Pompey looked like they put more than enough effort in this game, but Wigan just slightly stronger. The shots on target. Callum Lang's goal was not a bad one.
No, it was decent.
And that was Portsmouth's first goal conceded this season as well.
Yep.
And that leads us onto the table. It's not good viewing at the bottom. We'll start down there. Wow.
That ain't good.
We are yet to win a game. 5 games in, 1 draw, 4 defeats. Exact same form as Crewe Alexandra. So we are rock bottom. Alphabetical order, I believe that is.
Yeah.
Not nice to see, but I think it will turn around. Patience, calm is what is needed at the minute.
You're not a club that tend to rash with managers. You normally give them a little bit of time. So hopefully you can give him the time to get what he needs and get it all sorted. The only thing you've got is if you're still around there by November, that might change. Yeah, I think we need to get a couple of wins pretty much immediately after the international break. Get that confidence back up, get that morale back up. He got a week though, hasn't he, to be with the players and try and sort things out and kind of drill them a little bit.
Definitely.
Get them on Countley pitch and putt. Get some team bonding.
We need to do something, but I'm not concerned at the minute. I don't think fans should be too concerned. We'll see how the transfer window finishes. But players coming back, who knows? There's big teams down here still. You look at the likes of Ipswich,
Lincoln,
Charlton. 3 teams there that you'd expect to be much higher up the table. So yeah, be a little concerned, but a little bit of patience, a little bit of calm, and we'll be okay. Moving up the table, Bolton solid mid-table. I think they'll continue to climb the table over the next couple of weeks. They started with a couple of 3-3 draws, but it's starting to turn around a little bit now. I think they'll be there or thereabouts come the end of the season. But then moving to the top half of the table, Rotherham just outside of the playoffs. I think they'll look good on Saturday. I think they'll be in or around the playoffs come the end of the season. And the top 6 looking very strong with Wycombe, Portsmouth, Wigan and Oxford making up the playoffs. And then perched towards the top of your team, Sheffield Wednesday. Do you think you'll be there, or do you think you'll be one step higher come the end of the season?
I want to see one step higher because I really like to see this team win an actual title, not go up via automatics. And I have this thing where I think it will be, but we got to be very calm. We're going to have games like yesterday. We're going to have games where it doesn't go to plan. I think because we started so well, our fan base was like, we're going to piss it up the league. HMS piss up the league, and it's not that kind of league. And I've seen a lot of this, and on one of the podcasts that we called Talking Wednesday, we said that you got to be patient. If things go wrong, it's going to go wrong. And it's very much a tight league where one flip up will let someone in. Hopefully we can be there. Darren Moore said he still wants to bring in 1 or 2 more players if he can. And I think if he can, that would have been a strong recruitment for us. So that would have brought us to about 14 to 15 new players in. We look solid at the back. We're looking okay in midfield. We just need to get it in the back of the net a bit more. Yeah. And we could have had a lot against Morecambe. And when we played Donny, we looked up until that goal. We did look like we're okay. Everything was going fine. But there are times where it's got to be right, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think hitting the nail on the head there. League champions don't lose many games. I think with Sheffield Wednesday's defence, don't think he'll lose many games this season.
Well, we had a makeshift defence anyway, because we had a Hutchow and a Dunkley was out, and they both had solid games. They've been solid started, and in this game we had Liam Palmer playing centre back. But Darren Moore said to press that he make players play in every position, so if they need to, they can slot in. And Palmer, one of those players, will play everywhere if he wants. And he's like Patterson we've got. Patterson will play anywhere. So I'm not concerned. I think Croft will be in and around it, hopefully above that, going up automatic champions. But it's a long whole season, and we play 5 games?
Yeah. It's only a baby at the minute this season with plenty of time to go. But
there's a lot of time for Sheffield Wednesday to break my heart.
But yeah, Sunderland, fantastic start. 4 wins, 1 defeat, top of the tree. Great viewing for you guys, 5 games in. I just hope it changes down at the bottom of the table fairly quickly. And that is it for episode 4 of the League One review. Thank you, everybody, for joining, for popping in. Thank you, Jake, for your contribution today. It's been fantastic once again. If you've not visited Jake's channel, please do. It will be in the description down below. Chef41, Sheffield Wednesday vlogger and content creator. If you've not already, work that out. And that is it for this one. Yeah, it's a big clue behind it. So that is it for this one, guys. Thank you for joining us. If you've enjoyed it, big thumbs up for us, please. Comments in the section down below. Subscribe to both of us if you haven't already. As always, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.